I want us to do a live grant search. So come on into the live stream. I wanted to say thank you so much for joining me live on YouTube. And if you are watching this lovely video after I've recorded it live, shout out to you, friend, and thank you so much for clicking on my video. This means that you are actually looking for funding opportunities that don't require any credit checks. You don't have to give any of your personal information. You are looking for some capital to start or scale the business, and I truly appreciate you being here. So if you will, as you're coming in and as you're watching this video, make sure you like the video so that way the YouTube algorithm can push these videos out to more entrepreneurs just like you and I. And also, if you are joining me live, don't be scared, friend. It's your business bestie, your 71% successful grant writer and 10-year grant winner. So make sure you like the live stream. We're going to get right into it. Yesterday's conversation was so fun. And if you didn't get a chance to join, make sure you go check out my live stream from yesterday. Yesterday was Monday, and I wanted us to kickstart our week with talking about how to properly set ourselves in the right professional position, right? So yesterday in the live stream, I went over 7 steps that you can take to get your idea from out of your brain and into reality. Now, that entire conversation is not like your usual step-by-step, get an LLC, get an EIN, get a website, all of that stuff. Those foundational things I went over last week in last week's live stream. But in this week, right, we're getting down to business. We're being serious, and I want you to be serious about executing. We are in the second half of the year. Right, we're in the second half of the year, which means if you didn't do anything productive for your particular business in the first half of the year, at least give yourself the grace to be able to execute in the second half of the year, okay? All right, so in today's live stream, I want us to do more like a grant live search. I want to reassure you on the grant search engines that I use. And also, I want to reassure you about any questions or concerns you might be having. And also, hopefully, I can find a grant that will be good for all of us to apply to, that we can apply to today. And yeah, so I just want to have another grant conversation. Of course, I got to keep the grant conversations up and running because the sole purpose a lot of y'all follow me is simply because I'm always talking about grants on YouTube. I'm like your grant girl, okay? I'm your grant girlfriend, your grant girl best friend. You know what I mean? So because I understand my audience and I know that you guys are really focused on trying your best to go for these grants and things like that, and you just simply want to know this information just in case you decide you want to apply, I'm going to answer all of your grant questions today, and also we're going to search for grants together, okay? All right, so come on into the live stream. As you're coming in, make sure you like the live stream so that way the YouTube algorithm can know that you guys like this type of content. And yeah, we're going to jump right into it. So grants, like I said yesterday, we had a really good conversation. Please check out that live stream. And for a lot of people, the reason why I did that live stream about the 7 things that you can do to actually start a business and get from the idea phases and bring it into reality is simply because these last consultations I've been having have really been like very good, right? We've been so focused on what is the idea, what kind of service you want to provide, what type of products you want to provide. But the challenge has been, okay, now I know exactly what service and product that I have and that I want to provide. I know how my service and product is going to help out my clients. However, my challenge is I don't know how I'm going to make money from it. So in that live stream from yesterday, we went over some different business models, like a subscription-based model, a done-for-you or done-with-you type of business model, right? A service-based and a product-based business model. And we dove deeper into those type of business models as well. So I think that conversation was very much needed. Make sure you check out that live stream from yesterday. Okay, but today we're having a grant search, all right? This is grant search for beginners, all right? Okay, cool. So for those of you who don't know, I'm a 71% successful grant writer. So what does that technically mean? That means out of 1,000 clients that I might get in a year, 71% of them get approved to at least one grant that my company writes for them. Now that grant can be anywhere between $2,000, $3,000, $10,000, $50,000, $100,000, $200,000, whatever have you. Now, can we get into some tea real quick before I really dive deep into this grant search? Let's just have a little tea conversation, okay? drinking my water, okay? Living in Nigeria is not easy to say healthy. I would say all the food here is good. All right, so let's have us a little grant gossip. Okay, so my peers, right? Some of you all have been actually searching for grants and grant writers, right? You've been looking for someone to be able to take this task on. I don't understand the mindset behind when you figure out or you find out about grants through me or through a person that you go searching for your own grant writer, thinking that you're going to get the same exact quality of service. I don't know what that mindset is. I think it's a thing of I think it is the mindset of, oh, I can do it myself, or I can search for a grant writer myself that's cheaper than this person. You get what you pay for number one. And two, I'm actually the most affordable, reputable, certified US based grant writer there is. Okay, compared to all of my peers. Majority of my grant writing peers, okay, they are charging $900, $1,000, well over $500 to write 1 to 3 grants for you. Okay. Now, one of my peers, she's like very well known. She's been doing very good, and I'm super proud of her. But I read one of her comments or a few of her comments under her recent Facebook ads she's been doing, which is super cute. And some people were saying, oh, she's a scam, or, oh, I paid for, whatever have you, and I still haven't heard from you guys. And I want to reassure you all that there are different ways that you can communicate with people. Through email. Email is the number one when we're talking about doing business to business. Email is number one. So email, and then it's very important that you understand how grants work before you decide to hire a grant writer with expectations that we cannot promise. You understand? Grants are no 100% guarantee that you will win, but a loan ain't neither. Now that there is no diverse equity inclusion included right now, you could be a Black woman owned company, a Latino woman owned company, or simply a veteran owned entrepreneur, and you can have assets, good credit, and all this stuff. But if the bank don't want to do business with you, they won't do business with you. And guess what? Because there's no more DEI laws, they don't have to tell you the reasons for why they don't want to do business with you. They just don't service your kind. And that's exactly the vibes they give. I recently had a client. She has good credit. She has assets, which means she has I think her husband owns like a small boat, fishing boat, and they have their own house. They got it together, friend. She started her own small business, right? She went into the bank, and the bank told her simply no. No. And she said, Shelby, I really thought that I had all my ducks in a row. I mean, I have good credit. I have no negative derogatory marks on my credit report. We have assets. We have good income. I don't understand why they denied me. And I said, friend, it's simply because there's no diverse equity inclusion. The banks don't have to do business with you. And matter of fact, I said this in my last live stream, I think last week or 2 weeks ago. But the loan officers and the bank managers, they actually receive a bonus of determining on how many loans they actually decline. Yeah. The banks don't have money like that to be given to every person who has good credit and every person who has assets and every person who's walking in there asking for the opportunity. That's not how it works. And you cannot, and no longer, long gone are the days since COVID. COVID just made it very revolutionary in this funding world. Okay. Do not go in there with feeling obligated, right? With the obligations of, because I have this good credit, because I have my ducks in a row, because I have my business LLC and I have a business bank account and all of this stuff, that I am due to a loan opportunity, that they should give me this opportunity. No, that's not how it works. There's no 100% guarantee that you would be able to get a loan, line of credit, or a credit card either, especially in 2025. But you are giving yourself the chance at potentially getting a loan simply because you put in the work you put in the time and effort to build your credit. You put in the work to build your bank account so it can show that you have money in there. You've put in that work. So why not put in that same effort and aggression into going for free opportunities that One, you don't have to pay them back. Two, you don't have to provide so much documentation that it seems like these people are like the FBI or something. Like y'all just want to know everything about where I work, where I stay, how much money is coming in and out. They even want to log into your bank accounts. And for me, that makes me feel very uncomfortable, right? Another thing is that when you're going for a loan, they're just simply giving you the loan. They're just simply giving you money. That's it. But you have to pay that loan back with interest. The number one reason why 58% of startups and entrepreneurs go for funding, like external funding, is 47% out of that 58% go for grants, is simply because they don't want to start their business out in debt. And the business loan world, you don't want to treat it like how you treated your personal credit. If you don't have good personal credit, if you haven't been paying back those loans, if you haven't been paying those loans on time, you don't want to start your business out on the wrong foot like that either. This is your idea. This is like your new baby. This is your new dream. So you got to do right by it, especially if you want, good, genuine clients to come by, and you don't want them to scam you or, pay you whenever they feel like it or whenever they can. No, you want them to do right by your service and products as well. Right? So I like grants more than loans, but when you're going for a grant, that's where I was a grant writer. That's where I was coming from. When you're going for a grant writer, as a grant writer, okay, we cannot guarantee that you will win a grant. No matter, even if we know the actual people that's giving out the money, we can never guarantee. Okay, simply because you are competing with another business. It may the best business win. But that's why I say you must consistently apply to grants. Consistency is key with this thing. You are worthy of the win. Yes, you can go for the win. You have everything that you need necessary to be able to win a grant. You just simply need to go for it. What I noticed is that even when I've noticed that a lot of people watch, like you guys watch my live streams, and even after the live streams are done, you guys are simply asking for me to do it for you. Even when you hire me, it's important that you know that even though I do have a 71% successful grant writing rate, I still cannot guarantee that you will win any grant that I apply to for you. And also, it's important for you to know that we can't take any money from out of your reward. Okay, that's unethical towards our license and certificate. Okay, so what that means is we don't work like loan officers. We don't take out 10%, 15% of what you win. That's not how it works. You have to pay a grant writer up front because we are the ones that are using our creative writing skills. Also, we are the ones that you pay to help save you time and the efforts to search and apply to the grant for you. That's how it works. So you don't hire a grant writer simply because you're looking for a much easier, a easier way to get funding. Grants also, to reassure you, is an extra stream of income. Yes, it's an extra stream of income for your business. Most business owners that go for grants, they are usually already, um, you know, in operations, bringing in money, things like that. While there are grants for startups, so even if you haven't generated any money in your business, yes, you can get a grant. This is absolutely true. But whether you are a startup or you are a seasoned business owner, you still need to make sure you have your business plan, your pitch deck, and a 3-minute pitch video. I always say that you must have a business plan, a pitch deck, and a 3-minute pitch video. If you have those three key elements, then you are properly prepared for all funding opportunities, not just grants, but also loans, lines of credit, credit cards, and investment capital, accelerator programs, incubator programs. There's so many funding instruments out there that you can take on as a startup, not just grants and not just loans. Yeah, this is deeper than rap, friend. So, business plan, business pitch deck, and a 3-minute pitch video. All right. The business plan is going to serve like an answer key. So, for those of you who lack the confidence, that feel like when you are answering the questions that you're not answering them right, I want to reassure you that there's no right or wrong answer when you are answering a question like, what is your business mission? Who are your competitors? What makes you different from your competitors? There is literally no right or wrong answer to that. You are simply giving them the direct information that you have already studied, that you have already done the research on to properly position yourself to be ready for this money. And then they ask questions like, what would you do with the money? You don't want to be vague. You don't want to be vague. You don't want to be simple. You want to be very detailed when they ask you that. Give them a full timeline. Possibly break it up in phases. If you are going for a $100,000 grant opportunity, break it down in 4 phases. Each phase, we will spend $25,000 from this grant opportunity. And each $25,000 that we spend from phase 1 through 4 will be impactful towards our business in these 3 key ways or areas. And then you explain that. That sounds simple by me saying it, but it's a detailed answer that you're giving them so you can reassure the grantor that they are actually giving money to a business owner who is responsible, resourceful, and who is serious about taking their business and their startup to the next level. If you are a startup and you've never generated money, you definitely need to sell your business and you need to explain your business as much as possible because you're a startup. You haven't even started generating revenue to reassure yourself if this is even a scalable business. So because you haven't generated any revenue yet, it's very important for you to thoroughly explain how you would use the grant money. And it's very important for you to thoroughly explain the reasons for why you need it. That's 2 different answers. How you will use the money and why do you need the money, okay? And when you're answering the question as to why you need the grant funds, which is free money that you don't have to pay back, no credit checks and no personal information needed, you're simply you're going back to your business mission. You know what I mean? You are reiterating your business mission. You're saying, okay, this is, the reason why we need this money is simply because we would be able to, do our business mission or, complete our business mission or say whatever your business mission is. Okay. Exactly. All right. So what questions do y'all have? Thank you. Okay. Good morning. Random question. What payment processing do you use for your business? Stripe. Oh, we talked about that yesterday. Hi, kindly list the startups, small business grants that you're mentioning. It's not yet listed here, which can be misleading. So no, I'm not talking about, we're doing a beginner's search, a grant search. That's what we're doing. So no, it's not misleading. The obligated mindset. God bless you. God bless you. Like, oh, I clicked on your thing, so you're misleading. Oh wow, tell Donald Trump. Look, go and tell somebody. I don't know. What? We haven't even gotten there yet. Actually, we're just 18 minutes, not even 20 minutes in the live stream. Y'all know I have to explain what grants are first, so don't rush me for reading. Okay, love you, but don't rush me. Okay, good morning. Hi, beautiful. How much for something? Oh, yeah, that's definitely not for me. We are going to. We don't have haters in here. No disrespect. All right, we are God-fearing individuals in here. We are God-fearing people in here. Okay, so grants, free money that you don't have to pay back, no credit checks, no personal information needed. No credit checks, no personal information needed. You are not wasting your time when you are applying to a grant, simply because when you submit a grant application, there's other perks and deals that come alongside with that. You would have never been able to get free LegalZoom credit. You probably would have never been able to get up to $10,000 in Google ad credit. You probably would have never been able to get invited to a really big conference so you can network your business amongst your other clients and possible people you can collaborate with. You would have never had those extra additives and opportunities if you would have never applied to this grant opportunity. You understand? So it goes beyond just going for the money. It's also going for the opportunity that it comes alongside with. Yes, yes. So applying to a grant is not just, oh, I'm just going for the money. If that's the case, then start your business. When you become an entrepreneur and you sign up and you purchase that LLC, It is now your responsibility to make this business grow. Not the bank's responsibility, who you're looking for money from. Not the grantor's responsibility, who you're requesting money from. You. You are taking full responsibility and saying, I believe in this idea, and I'm going to go ahead and be as resourceful as possible, pull all of my resources together and find the best way possible that I can get this thing started. At least let me generate my first $1,000. That way I can use that $1,000 and reinvest into my business. And that's essentially what you're doing. Every income that you have that comes in, you have to consistently keep putting it back in there, keep putting it back in there, keep putting it back in there until you have reached your business income goals. Maybe we should have a live stream about developing business goals. What y'all think? Let me know in the chat. Should we have a live stream about how to develop business goals? Uh, because yesterday's live stream was really fun. It was very fun. And I think that it really gave you guys clarity on exactly how to create an execution strategy, right? We went over so much yesterday. So, like, I think if we have a conversation about how to develop, because some of y'all don't have a business income goal. You just simply know that you want to get this business started, but you never really sat down and thought about how are you going to make money. So we went over that yesterday. And then how are you, what is your, what's the number? What's the magic number for you? Some of y'all, that might be a consistent $10,000 a month, 20,000, 30,000. Some of you all, it might be, you never know. So whatever that goal is, we need to talk about how to reach that and what that might look like for you. Yeah. Okay, cool. Excuse me. Okay, so we'll have a nice conversation about that probably tomorrow. Okay. All right. So gotta have some water. Okay. So we went over grants, the usual things and the general things that you might need to know about grants. I have in my grant masterclass, which is about 5 videos. They're 6 to 10 minutes each, and they tell you everything you need to know about how to be properly prepared for grants. But when you are looking to win a grant, you need to be consistent. Okay, friend? Now, I could tell you everything in this live stream about how to win a grant, how to search a grant, how to be prepared for a grant, and all of that good stuff. The game is free, but the hustle is sold separately. So it's either you are going to put in the time to execute, and when you do, give yourself grace and time to win a grant. Now, grants do not have a quick turnaround time like loans and lines of credit and credit cards. That's why most entrepreneurs and startups go for loans, because you guys are simply just looking for money. And a lot of the times, you're looking for money to get yourself out of your own personal situation and also to invest in your business. And this is why you're getting denied of a lot of loans. Or you're possibly hiring somebody off of Facebook and Instagram who they're getting you a loan, but your interest rate is out of this world. Not a smart move. You know what? Can we gossip a little bit? A little funding gossip. So I saw a Facebook post. I'm a part of this like group, and on Facebook, and in the group there are people who are like loan officers. What they do is they you can hire them to search for the loan and to apply for the loan for you. So there's this one person who did there's 2 people that I'm going to talk about here. There's this one person who he was able to get his client like 70K, but he was supposed to receive 10% out of that. Now, the client paid the $7,000, but then the client ended up turning around and calling on the bank and saying, I never authorized this payment, trying to reverse the $7,000. Yes. Let me say it again for those who just came in. The person who applies to the loans, the loan officer guy, he's like very well known on Facebook and on Instagram. He got $70,000 for one of his clients, and the client was supposed to pay him 10% of that, which was $7,000. And so the client paid the $7,000 using Stripe, right? This is why I like Stripe. But the client called the bank and said, I never authorized the $7,000. I want my $7,000 back. Stripe told that person, you had an actual contract deal with this person. This person actually got you 70K, and you are actually stealing services from them after you would have never received that $70,000 if it wasn't for this loan officer or this person who knows how to apply to loans. Absolutely not. Thank God that person, he was able to keep the $7,000 for the work that he put in. But could you imagine? I've noticed that in that loan world, there's a lot of people who simply like use their LLCs that they started up back in 2020 just so they can get a PPP. And because they was able to get a PPP from 2020, now they think they can do it all over again now that Donald Trump's back in office, and they think that they can go ahead and go for another round. Instead of going through SBA, they're willing to run their personal and their business credit through over 100 banks just to find that one opportunity that has like a crazy interest. But the intentions behind it is simply they're not going to pay it back anyway because they're going to dissolve the LLC. Yes. This is just a little bit, this is funding gossip that we're talking about right now. So can you believe that people are doing this? And then those are the same people that will get on social media and that will be like, oh, you a scam, you were supposed to get me 100K and you never got me 100K. But yeah, but then you get approved for 10K, you got approved for what you can get. Yes, like this is really going on out here in this funding world. People are, and this is why the banks are really cracking down and being much more secure and much like harder on like how they give out loans. And it's simply because there are literally people who are finessing the loans and they're not using the loans to build up the businesses. There's people out here that are like just doing whatever. They're you actually using these business loans for personal use, and that's not what it's supposed to be about. This is why it's so hard to get a business loan. Yeah, that's one of the reasons why. Besides all of the hoopla that went through around 2020. And then I can imagine, and then I've actually experienced this where I've had like people who hired me for my services, right? But they don't comprehend how grants work for real, but they just simply hired me because they saw a pretty girl on YouTube, or they just simply hired me because they are looking for funding. So they think in their mind that grants work the same way as loans. And then I also have people that they don't listen to me at all. They just simply pay for my services, right? They don't listen to me. They do not comprehend what's going on. But because grants sound like, it's an easy way to get money and free money, and I have a 71% successful grant writing rate, in their mind, I don't know what this is a very this is very that we don't pray for these people. But in their mind, it's a thing of, oh, because you got a 71%, you say you 71%, you say this, you say that, so I'm looking for a guarantee. And so if they sign up for my services, and when they sign up for my services and I apply to a grant for them and say they don't win a grant at all, then they will go on social media and say, don't sign up with her, she's a scam, or don't sign up with her, I never won a grant. This is why I'm always reiterating the same exact grant information at the beginning of my live streams all the time. And I say it throughout the entire live stream. Grants are no 100% guarantee. And even if I knew the person who was giving out the money, as a certified grant writer, I cannot guarantee that you will win the opportunity. It is a competition. Just like you aggressively need this free money, there's other startups and small business owners that aggressively need this free money as well. And a lot more of you all are actually going for grant opportunities simply because you don't want to start your business out in debt, or you don't want to take out debt or a loan right now in your business journey. I totally get it. But it's important for you to understand that when you are applying to grants, it's no different from a raffle ticket, a lotto ticket, or a scratch off. If you are consistently buying scratch offs every day, you most likely gonna win off the scratch off one of these days. If you are consistently buying the lotto tickets, whether it's a quick pick or you picking your own numbers, one day, I believe one day it's gonna happen for you. It's simply because you are consistently going for that opportunity. If you are consistently going for grants, somebody's going to give you the opportunity. Each grant application gets on average about 2,000 applicants. Yes, each grant opportunity that you see that I'm talking about and that you see that's on helloSkip and that is on grantwatch.com or grants.gov, each grant opportunity in most cases on average about 2,000 applications. Unless it's a federally funded cooperative agreement. That's a totally different situation. So with us knowing that, we actually do not know who we are competing against. But I'm not demotivating you. I've been able to win millions of dollars in grants, not only for myself, but for my clients and also for private nonprofits, private organizations, churches, schools. So it's absolutely possible. But that's why I'm stressing to you, it's all about being properly prepared. Ain't nobody gonna give you money for free just because you got your hand out and you said, I want to open up a food truck. That's not how this works in 2025. You have to thoroughly explain, are you upstanding, responsible, resourceful entrepreneur? Are you going to actually make this dollar shake? Can we trust you? While the grantor is not requesting any money back, they simply want to make sure that you are actually using this money to chase your dreams, not just to pay your bills and catch yourself up on your rent. That's unethical. Imagine you putting so much effort into your application and you have such an amazing idea and your product and service is something that's really going to be revolutionary, or it's going to change your community. It's going to help the young kids and the youth. It's going to stop gun violence, all of this good stuff, right? Say you are putting so much effort into your application, and then here comes somebody, right? That just simply want the money to be able to pay their bills, catch themselves up on their rent, and be able to buy them, a car or whatever the case may be, or get them a rental car. And all they did was they just came up with a cleaning business last night and they just simply submitted the application and now they got selected. How would you feel about that? I would feel so like, I would feel bad. I would feel like so played. Because what you mean, this person who just said, oh, I want to do a cleaning business, but now they turn around and they just spending the money. However, we seeing them on Instagram. We saw that they, with the grant money, they just bought a new chain. We saw with the grant money that they just bought bottles in this club at Magic City, having a good time. They all at Beyonce concert. They done upgraded their ticket. You understand? With the grant money. That is unethical. And so that is why it is important for you to put in the effort to really talk about how your business is going to be impactful once you are given the opportunity. That's what it's all about. And I'm giving y'all multiple examples on how to do this. It's not hard. Okay? What y'all saying in the chat? I skipped the PPP. I opt out for EIDL grant 1,500. I started my business 2019. Okay. Clarity is vital when you say small business grant channel when you're not listing grant visibility or okay. Can you put it in the freezer, please? Okay. When you say small business grant channel, when you're not listing the grant visibility or stating where we can find them is most certainly leading. No, actually I have a full forward movement. Thank you so much for saying that. So I have a full in chat, y'all can tell them where it's at. But I have a full playlist on how to search and apply to grants. And I give you the 3 main websites that I use. The playlist is Grant Masterclass. So when you go on my channel, click on playlist and you'll be able to see it. It says Grant Masterclass. Now it's 5 videos. They're 6 to 10 minutes each. And each video is very good. Okay. And the first video, I tell you everything straightforward. Like it's straightforward, direct information, very good. Okay. But since you're here and I want to make sure that my audience and my viewers are satisfied, get ready to write this down. So let me know when you're ready for movement. There's a chance of not getting approved for whatever the funds are. That should be common sense. People are crazy. Yeah, believe it or not. But not every, just when you thought common sense was common sense is not common actually. Common sense is not common. Your common sense is not common sense to somebody else's. And you know what? I learned that, especially in my 10 years of entrepreneurship, that it's also like a demographic type of thing as well. Like, we all learn differently in the US. Like, the way you learn when you're from the North and the things that you have to go through in the North is different from the South, is different from the West, different from the East. I learned that. The way people think in Arizona think totally different from the people from the Bay Area, like San Francisco, who think totally different from people from Miami. And the people from Miami, we think totally different from people in Texas. We think Texas people think totally different from people in Chicago. And them Chicago people don't think the same way as the people in New York. Matter of fact, nobody thinks the same way as people from New York. Okay? We all come from different sides, right, of the nation. And because I understand that the way that we operate, the way that we do things, thanks to social media, I think social media has definitely brought us more together in a way. But we all don't think alike. We all don't think alike. The Southerners, they say Floridians are like not smart, but we just think differently. We operate differently. That's just that. New Yorkers think differently, and they are more aggressive in the way that they do things, right? That's one thing that we can all collectively say. They are aggressive in the way that they do things. They are aggressive in reaching their goals and their dreams and all this good stuff. Okay. Forward movement, I'm waiting on you to respond. So once you respond, you say, okay, tell me everything about what you want me to tell you. Then yeah. Okay. But if not, if you left, then cool. So, um, yeah. So we all don't think the same. And that is what allows me to, once I learned that in my entrepreneurship journey, I said, okay, I have to have more grace with people because we all do not think the same. We don't think the same at all. Okay. And that's just true. So I have a lot of grace with people. And what we learn in Miami and how we do things and how fast of a life that we live. And this, I think this goes for all metropolitan cities. So Atlanta, Dallas, Texas, and Houston, Texas, um, Miami, LA, right? New York, all of the big metropolitan cities, what we are exposed to and the way that we live our lives and the way that we do things can seem and be a bit more advanced than a small town, let's say in Iowa or in Montana, right? Because we are exposed to a lot more. It's the city. We're exposed to more. We have to be on the move a lot more. Things might be more expensive, right? Food, everything, gas, everything is more expensive in a metropolitan city, in a big city. So the way city people think versus like people who live in the middle of nowhere, like off grid, yeah, we're exposed to different things. And then when you have a person that grew up on a farm and now wants to start their own business in a big city, yes, it is some steps that they have to learn. We have to give those people grace because they might not know how to do something as simple as, Apple Pay. And I'm being so serious. They might not know exactly what a payment processor is, like Stripe or PayPal. They might not know about, quad pay and afterpay, where you can just get your service and products now and you pay it back and forth payment. Like they are not hip to that stuff. And then you have to give grace to people like that. So I don't judge people at all. I just say, okay, cool. I understand who I'm talking to, who I'm speaking with, And I give people the safe space to be able to be vulnerable enough to say, hey, I don't know what you're talking about, but I'm open to learning. And that's the key, right? If these people are open to learning, then that's fine. Some people have their own deep way of thinking to the point where this conversation, what I'm saying, it's very important for you all to comprehend, understand where I'm coming from, because you all are getting your own, you're going to have to deal with your own clients. And there's going to come a time where you may get that irate client that just simply doesn't understand your order of operations and the way you do things. And that client, you might say, how you don't understand how to make a payment online, how you don't know how to check your email. But believe it or not, there are people out here who do not know how to check their emails. They don't know how to make a payment online for real. Yes, in 2025, I'm being so serious. There are people out here that's never heard of like TikTok shop. Like what is that? So I'm telling you, you might come across a client like that wants to sign up for your services and products because they possibly seen your ad somewhere, but they don't really know how to get in touch with you. And if you're doing consultations, and say you use like Calendly or any type of calendar app, a booking app or something like that, they might not understand that once they book the consultation and they make the payment, that there's a Zoom link that gets sent directly to their email. I get this a lot, actually. I get this a lot where there are clients, like, you will book a consultation with me, and the process of you booking the consultation is fine, but you expect me to call you after I state a lot of times on YouTube, hey, I live in Africa, I cannot call you because I have to pay per minute. So it's actually much better for both you and I to be on a Zoom call. So a lot of people, they don't check their emails even to see if they received a receipt or some sort of confirmation of the actual booking. That last part right there of just simply checking your email to see if you receive the confirmation of the booking, that part right there, that part right there, it gets missed a lot for some of my clients. I'm so serious. And I don't judge. I don't judge at all. But in most cases, probably in your first year or two, year 1 and 2, it really might piss you off. Like but you got to grow patience and grace with people. Okay, understand common sense is not common. And the way that you do things might be a whole new order of operations that they never went through before in their life. Okay, so I offer the safe space for y'all to be able to say, I don't know. I don't know how this works or whatever. Okay. But to reassure you, when you do book a consultation with me, it is always going to be a Zoom call. You will receive an email confirmation, a confirmation of your receipt of you making a payment, and also a confirmation of the date and time with the Zoom link, right? Which is the meeting location, the Zoom link. So you'll have everything you need in your email, okay? Most of the people that I get that understand that entire process are people that, like, they might be young or they're from the city. But for my ones that find me on YouTube and you live, let's say, like in the Middle East, and you're not super tech savvy, then yeah, all right, I totally get it. I am very graceful, and that's why I still do my best with at least sending a text message out saying, hey, I'm in the Zoom call, you did book a consultation today. That private owned number is epic. Do you have a generator to sell electricity to the city? I don't understand what you're asking. It's a random question. I don't even know if that question was for me because I don't understand it. Hello, Yolanda. Welcome in. Okay. So yeah. So let's get on with it because we've been on here for a little minute. I wanted to talk about really quick for all of so What businesses do we have in this um in here? Because I want to see what. Let me find us a grant that we can go for. We got Breva. Let me see what this one looks like. They brought this back. Yolanda, you do government contracts? Interest. Oh, so if you do government contracts, oh, I wonder how that works. So what do you do? Like, are you teaching people how to get into government contracts? Um, or do you actually do the service for them where you find government contracts for them and um like how does that work? You said I want to, so like are you looking for government contracts? Property preservation, notary signing services. Mm-hmm. Okay. I do the service for them. Oh, who in here wants who's looking for a government contract? Yolanda does it. How can we find you? Plan on opening a nonprofit for at-risk youth, human trafficking victims. Oh, this is super cool. Very interesting. There's nonprofit grants out here for sure. Mildred's Dream Foundation, 25K. What else do we have out here? Foot Locker is giving out up to 100,000 for nonprofits. Performing arts funding grant. I think that's only for like performing arts, so that doesn't apply to you. Um, oh, youth leadership and community impact greatness grant. That's a $1,000 grant. I don't know if you have to be an NYC. Yeah, it says nylt.org. Community impact grant 150K. That's by Waste Management. You can go to wm.com. Community impact. So yeah, there's definitely some right here for nonprofits. Um, so for you, Black Solora, you would actually go for nationwide grants because there wouldn't be grants specifically for anything, any services provided in the real estate sector. I think I talked about that one time before, but getting into real estate like Airbnb or even helping people who have experienced foreclosures and things like that, there it wouldn't really be a grant specifically for that. Even though you are doing such a really great job with helping out the community and helping those people move forward and transition after going through such a detrimental time like losing their home in a foreclosure. Um, yeah, they don't really have grants for that specifically, unless you are unless you go for a grant or you search for a grant particularly in your area. So if you are doing this business, let's say in Orlando, Florida, or something or a place like that, whatever city and state, then I will check with the Small Business Development Center, SBDC, and I will see if there's any grants available through those programs. I will check with the SBA, but the SBA don't have grants right now, so but you can see what the SBA can do for you. And then, yeah, I would use grants.gov and grantwatch.com. The thing about grants.gov is that you have to already be in the business of doing it for at least 2 years, but you can still check grants.gov to see if there's any opportunities there for you. Okay. But that's definitely community driven when you are helping those with who've went through a foreclosure. But the way that you earn money, you have to explain that. You know what I mean? So yeah, if you're in Illinois, then check in Illinois. Wherever you are in Illinois, whether Chicago, whatever have you, then you need to check to see what opportunities that they have. Okay, that is more of like government funded, state and local funded grants. But you would also go for those nationwide grant opportunities, like grants for women-owned companies, grants for Black companies, things like that. Okay, so you can still go for those type of grants as well. All right, I wanted to reassure you because I don't want you going to grantwatch.com and looking for your type of business in the search filters, and you won't see real estate, and you won't see anything like, even if you're doing home restoration, anything like that, you won't see that. Turo hosts, absolutely not. Rideshare apps do not receive any grants. You are a part of a rideshare app. That's just that. So if you're doing DoorDash, Uber Eats, any of that, no, you won't be able to get any type of grant for being a part of a rideshare, simply because you are a contractor with that rideshare app, which means that you are doing work with this person. That's not really a small business like having an official LLC and you have your own taxi or whatever, or you're doing your own rideshare. No, you are a contractor and you won't be able to get a grant for being a Turo host. So that's an okay. What else do we have here? Plus, Turo host, like that's something for your personal income. That is definitely not you trying to build a business so you can have a whole fleet of your own. Like no, like anything like in auto sales, right? Even if you are trying to do Turo host, just so you can be able to save the money so you can buy some cars and be able to resell them and open up your own cars, like car salesman place. No, okay, because that takes money to make money, just like real estate. Those are like high earning industries and high risk industries as well. So you won't be able to get a grant for those type of industries. Um, let me see who else. I'm in the music world looking for funding for my songwriting company. Okay, that's cool. So you would go for more of like those performing arts grants and those grants that are in arts, right? So grantswatch.com, you can find that. You can use that grant search engine. Yeah, yeah. I'm in LA. The uncertainty is real. God bless y'all. Y'all got to keep God first, because one thing about it, God did not play with LA. After that lady said what she said, oh, this God-forsaken land. What? Do y'all remember that? I think I forgot what show that was. It was like an award show. And they were talking about Hollywood. Oh, Hollywood doesn't believe in God. Oh, all right. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Them fires was crazy. Weather disasters after weather disaster after weather disaster after weather disaster. You can't play with God now. It's his world. We just living in it. What about the property preservation company construction? Nope. You would, for what you're doing, you would simply go for grants that are like for women-owned companies, things like that. You understand? If there was one, they would possibly want you to. It's weird, but I don't know. Don't quote me on this. But I'm thinking I remember seeing one through Home Depot, but I think Home Depot was looking for nonprofits that do property preservation. If I'm getting it right, preservation company construction. So that's pretty much when you are demolishing a property or an old building, right? Please reassure me, because I want to make sure I'm saying the correct thing. Because if that is what it is, then in most cases they want you to be a nonprofit that's looking to do like humanitarian work. Like they are looking for you to revitalize an urban and underserved area. So if you are in Illinois and there's a whole 2 blocks full of old houses, abandoned buildings, and your company goes in and demolishes them, and what you guys are doing is you pretty much bought up the block and you're demolishing them and you're going to rebuild the houses or rebuild the buildings to be able to provide a youth center, affordable housing, whatever the case may be. Usually those types of grants, they're up to millions of dollars for sure. I remember Home Depot was giving one out, and I believe it was Home Depot, Wells Fargo, and I forgot the other. I think it was TD Bank too. They all three of them was giving out this type of grant, but you had to be a nonprofit doing it. And also, what they were all looking for is that they didn't want a one single member nonprofit and just one nonprofit. They wanted like multiple nonprofits to be like a group economics type of development. So I hope I have the what you're saying, property preservation company construction. I mean, I can always Google it, right? Property preservation refers to the maintenance and protection of real estate properties, especially those in foreclosure. Okay, so that's what we talked about earlier. To prevent deterioration and maintain their value. Okay, so yeah, we talked about that earlier. So what I was saying earlier about if you're helping individuals who are going into foreclosure, then yeah, no, I made it clear. No, I hope I was clear when I said no. It wouldn't be grants in that specifically for that type of business. I hope I was very clear. Hey Samuel, let me see. I started a t-shirt, tumblers and extra things. What grant can I apply for? Getting back to myself. Okay, back to life. Back to reality. Okay, so congratulations on starting your t-shirt. I started a t-shirt, tumblers, and extra things. What grant can I get? Can we shop with you? How can we find you? How can we shop with you? Appreciate the info. Of course, Lake City Fresh is my pleasure. Thank you for what you do for us. Thank you. It's all glory be to God, you know. Can we shop with you? Getting back to myself, like what you got? I want to see what kind of shirts you got. I love supporting businesses. Yes, and you can go for a grant. So that's the song I was looking for when I made the name. Wow, that's so crazy. Um, but yeah, do you have? Yes, you can shop with me. Okay, drop your. How do we shop with you? Chat. We're gonna support our friend. Let us know how we can shop for you. Let's see what you got. I want to be nosy, but yes, you can get a grant for what you're doing. You might not find a lot of grants, and I want to be very clear about this grant search for y'all. You might not find a lot of grants for what your particular business industry is. There's a season for everything. Okay, I'll say it again. You might not find a whole bunch of grants for what your particular business is, depending on what type of business you got. If it's something in the medical field, for sure, there's going to be a lot of grants out here for you. If there is something that is like food and beverage, yes, you'll find some grants out here. If it's something educational, yes, you'll find grants out here. If it's something like trucking, something to do with real estate, something, then it might be a challenge. So be open to going for grants that are specifically for startups. You want to look for startup entrepreneur grants especially if you never generated any revenue in your business. Look out for grants that are specific towards you and your demographics, like your ethnic group, your gender, right? So grants for women, and you know who you are as a person. Are you a veteran? Are you a persons with disability? Go for grants that are targeted towards your demographic as well. Okay, then you'll see you'll have a lot more options, because if you are a person that's looking to open up a yoga studio, might be a challenge. You're most likely not going to find a grant that says grant for a yoga studio so you can open up your own yoga studio. It's not going to be that direct. It will not be that direct. So if you are already a yoga instructor, then what you want to do is that you want to look for grants specifically for women's wellness. You want to look for a grant that's for women's health. You know what I mean? Like, because that's essentially that's what you're doing. All right. So you want to be very strategic about it. I want it to be very clear. You want to think about all parts of your business. What service and product do I provide? If I'm providing t-shirts, then maybe I need to look for a fashion grant. If I can't find a fashion, because there's not going to be a grant out here that says apply to this grant if you want to open up your own t-shirt printing business. That's not how it works. It's never going to be that direct. It's professionalism. They're going to use different vocabulary words. You got to think and put your thinking boots on. Okay. So possibly look for a fashion grant. Look for a grant that, a lot of these department stores might be giving out, because you can get a grant from a big company like Macy's, Sephora, Ulta Beauty, Saks Fifth, Gucci, Google, Apple. You can get a grant from your state and local government. And then you can also get a grant from a private entity or a private investor or another nonprofit that gives out money, like helloSkip. Okay. If you have applied to all of those grants and you are starting your own t-shirt business and you have your own t-shirt line, and you don't find a lot specifically for your industry, then think about, okay, what do I put on my t-shirts? Bible verses. Okay, let me see if they have any faith-based business grants out here. What else do my t-shirts provide? You understand? Comforting words, words of affirmation. So if that's the case, let me see if I can find like a grant specifically in the literature or poetic part of arts, because I'm giving out quotes. Maybe let me see if I can get a grant for this. And I can say the way that I am poetic or I'm artistic is by providing t-shirts that have poetic verses and quotes, words of affirmation that will make people feel good about wearing the t-shirt and that will remind themselves of the worth that they are worthy of the day. Okay. So think about that. If you are starting your own home health care and you're helping seniors and persons with disabilities, you won't have any problems at all with searching for grants. But you need to be strategic in the way that you are going about searching for your grants. You want to find grants that are for medical, let's say you hurt you, you will not find a grant. Let me be specific. You will not find a grant that is very direct towards what you're doing. You will never find a grant that says we want to give out $100,000 to somebody who wants to start their own home health home health aid care. You won't find that. You will not find a grant that when somebody is saying, "Oh, we want to give out 100K or $250,000 to somebody who wants to start their own senior care facility, resident care facility, assisted living facility." No. Somebody who wants to start their own CNA training program. No, that's not how this works. You are going to have to find a grant that is, you're going to have to think, first of all, think about the service that you're providing and the clients that you are serving and the problems that they have and how you are solving them. That's why you need to have a business plan. We talked about this yesterday. Once you have identified what the problem, who your clients are and what the problems is and what your solutions are and what your results will be, right? Once you have thought all of that out, then you start searching for grants based off of these key points. You will find a grant that says we're giving out $50,000 to a nonprofit, for-profit, small business, or any type of private entity that helps persons with disabilities. You will find a grant that says we are giving out 100K to a clinic, startup, small business owner, whatever have you, to a nonprofit or a for-profit business that helps people who suffer from hypertension, from diabetes, you understand? Because those are your clients. When you open up a home health care, if you know that some of your seniors are going to have some of these health issues, right? You might be helping out a persons with disabilities, like a person, an amputee, a person who might be autistic, a person who might have dementia, You understand? They have grants specifically for you helping out those types of people. You understand? But they do not have grants specifically for you trying to open up your own home health care. That's just the surface. We are talking about what are the results what are the solutions that you are going to be providing to your clients. So they're going to give you a grant based off of that. Okay. Will you give us the grant info? I run a boarding home now. Okay, this is awesome. So yeah, you could visit grantwatch.com, grantwatch.com. And grantwatch.com, I have a whole video on what that looks like, but grantwatch.com, that's where I find all these grants. What else? What other grant info do you need, Sandra? Let me make sure I'm answering your questions. But grantwatch.com is where you would go. Grantwatch.com. I need to bring my business taxes up to date to get the grant sets larger. Um, it's good to file your business taxes, but I mean, unless you're going for like federally funded grants, I wouldn't stress about it. Matter of fact, like, you know, I wouldn't worry. I wouldn't stress about that. Okay. All right. So, what other questions do y'all have? I was gonna go through this Riva grant, but this is only for AI businesses, so this is not for startups. Let me see. What does helloSkip have going on? I haven't seen much. Okay, early stage entrepreneur, seed and scale. I talked about that one before. $5,000 skip growth grant is due in 3 days. Okay, I didn't see that. Hey Nikki, how are you? Can the grants be used for a startup? And if so, what all do you need to get started or receive a grant? So hey, just me. Thank you so much for being in and joining us. Make sure you like the live stream. So yeah, you can get a grant for your startup, even if you have not generated any money. I always say this, but you need to have a business plan. Yes, a business plan, a pitch deck, which is the PowerPoint version of your business plan, and a 3-minute pitch video. If you have those three things, then you'll be properly prepared for grants and you'll be kickstarting your grant writing journey. Okay. Most of these grants, what you are looking for, and what, because I'm pretty sure you want to know, you want to know some reassurance on what are they asking for on these grant applications. For starters, let me reassure you, you are worthy of the win, friend. Okay. And you are not wasting your time because there's additional perks and deals that come with applying to a grant versus, you know what I mean, just simply going for the money. Now, on these grant applications, they do ask direct questions where they're looking for details. And they ask questions like, what is your business mission? What is your product and service? Who are your clients type? What is their clients' top problems? How are you solving their problems? Who are your top 3 competitors? What makes you different from your competitors? What is your income goals, right? What is your how would you use the grant funding and why should you win the grant? So all of those types of questions that the majority of grant applications ask, you want to be properly prepared in answering them as thorough and polished and professional as possible. So having the business plan, the pitch deck, and the 3-minute pitch video is really going to help you out. Now, a 3-minute pitch video, because I saw your question, you said, what is the 3-minute video? A 3-minute pitch video essentially is that video content piece that is you talking about your business idea and what you are doing. You understand? So you're going to use the backside camera of your phone because that's the best camera ever, friend. And you're essentially going to introduce your a business idea. So for me, how I would do it is I would, for my entire 3-minute pitch video, turn my camera phone on, and I will say, hey, my name is Superior Shelby, or my name is Shelby Clark. I own Superior Business Development Solutions, and I am a 71% successful certified grant writer. Most people find me on YouTube, where I have a dedicated YouTube channel of about 6 years, educating and creating awareness about grants. My overall business mission is to make sure that startups and small business owners are aware of debt-free funding that they can get that does not require any credit checks or any personal information needed, and they can use this debt-free funding to start and scale their business. Imagine being able to get hundreds of thousands of dollars to be able to take your business idea out of your head and into reality. That is what my overall mission is. I understand where most startup small business owners are, are feel like or are at mentally when they start their business. Most are afraid. And 58, matter of fact, 58% of startups and small business owners are going for external funding. Out of that 58%, 47% of them are actually looking for grant funding. So because I have the understanding of my market industry and how my clients are, how hard, aggressive my clients are looking for debt-free funding, I am here to make sure I not only teach them about these grants, but I also do the service for them. In most cases, my clients do not have the time or they don't have the ability or the education to put in the efforts to search and apply to grants themselves. So because I'm giving them all of these free gems on YouTube, they then develop a trust for me to go ahead and take on the guesswork and the hassle of applying to grants for them. So that's pretty much my 3-minute pitch, right? And then I will go into, what my funding requested amount is, right? So I will just talk about with a grant opportunity, I'll be able to do no so much. I'll be able to do like speaking engagements. I'll be able to host like free classes in person. I'll be able to travel the world and not only do help some small business owners and startup owners in the US, but also in the UK, and also which will allow me to be a global grant writer. But I've already done that. But pretty much that's what I would, let's say I would say something like that about what I would do with the money. Okay. And how impactful it will be towards my business and me scaling my business. So that's a 3-minute pitch video. You really speak about what the product and service is, who your client type is, what the problem is, how you're solving it, a little bit about your market industry and what you would do, what your requested amount is, but what you would do with the grant funding if you were awarded. Okay. Basically explaining the business plan and the questions the most asked on the grant app. Yeah, exactly. Good. You got it, just me. Oh, you a smart friend. Okay, I recently put in for an educational grant. I was set around purchasing. Wait, it was set around purchasing your services. Oh, you are so welcome. You're so welcome. Awesome. Okay, so yeah, you are welcome. I'm happy that you asked that question. But yeah, essentially, 3-minute pitch video in 2025. In this digital age, we need to make sure we have a piece of content. This 3-minute pitch video that you actually create can be quite general, and you can use this 3-minute pitch video and put it as a like headlining video on your website. So as soon as people go to your website, they'll be able to see your pitch video. And also in your video, you don't want it to be just like this, like just with a white background and you just talking. You also want to enter in some background rolling footage, aka B-roll. You want to add in some B-roll footage, like giving us an example when you are saying something about helping somebody. If you are in, let's say, senior care, then you might want to have a video put in there when you're talking and saying the voiceover of saying you help seniors. Then you want to have a video of like a person that's helping a senior get out of a wheelchair or, put their socks on or whatever have you. But that B-roll footage is really going to give us a more in-depth visual of exactly what you're saying. Also, you want to make sure you have background music. So I use these two editing tools. I use CapCut because CapCut also comes with their own like music too that you can use that is not copywritten. And then also, if you want to use some different B-roll footage, you can use Storyblocks. Okay, Storyblocks is really good. Yes, you do have to pay for them. For CapCut, I pay $20 a month. I use CapCut Pro because once you use the Pro features, it comes with B-roll, it comes with all of that stuff. So I barely use Storyblock, but Storyblock is good. I think Storyblocks is like $20 a month as well. And you'll be able to have access to all of these background rolling footage and all of these pictures and stuff that you can use to put in between your videos with your voice over it. So it can give like a professional video. You guys know how like when you're watching a YouTube video and when somebody's explaining something that they are able to cut through the video and kind of like show you some rolling footage that's not them just sitting down talking the entire time. Well, yeah, you want your 3 minute pitch video to be professionally edited like that, okay? For my clients, I actually do edit the videos for y'all. The only thing that I ask for y'all to do is to sit down and just like record yourself, and then I can take it from you. But you know, that is at a quoted price, and it also you have to have already allowed me to do the beginning pieces, which is the business plan and the pitch deck, okay? Okay. Shauna, where do I apply to? helloskip.com. Recap cuts. T2s or TOS, they claim a rights to everything you make with them. Oh, okay. Yeah, I saw a video about that. I did. I saw a video about that. But I didn't finish the video. I think I was too busy. I was too busy, but yeah, I saw the video about that. All right, so helloSkip is actually giving out a $5,000 grant. This $5,000 grant is anybody can apply to it. It's really cool. You have by July 19th to apply to it. You have by July 19th to apply to it. It says Skip has launched a new $5,000 growth grant in collaboration of Galaxy of the Stars and Pink Print for entrepreneurs with business plans. Do you have a business plan mapping out your business ambitions? If so, apply to this grant before the deadline. If you don't have an updated plan, create one here. All US based entrepreneurs and small business owners 18 years or older are invited to apply. You just simply click on the apply button. Okay, so let me show you what it looks like. So you can visit helloSkip. They're giving out a $5,000 grant, which is really cool. Hold on, friend. Let me put you down a little bit so you can see what's going on here. All right, so this is it. helloSkip. You can visit helloskip.com. I have my direct link that you can use. It is the helloSkip invite code, so that way you can have access to all of these different grants. But this is a $5,000 grant you have by July 19th to apply to. All right, so this is really cool. And this is the details about the grant. All right, so there you go. And click on start applying. All set. Let's see what the question is. If this comes up, you can sign up for Skip Plus if you want to. It's all up to you. And what comes with that is apply to grants faster with Skip Plus. You get a 7-day free trial. You get access to 50 plus exclusive grants, 3 times less the competition, auto submission to about 20 grants yearly. You get all of this good stuff, okay? But ultimately, if you don't feel like paying for it, then you can click this X in the top right hand corner. And let's see, what are the 5 questions they're asking? So, what is the mission of your business? Okay. How would you use the grant money to help your business? Who are your customers and how does this business uniquely meet their needs? Okay. So, who are your customers and how does your business uniquely meet their needs? What does your business do? Describe your product or service. And then you want to upload your business plan. This is why it's important for you to have a business plan. Okay, friend. There's so many, you have access to so many more other grants out there that they have available. I'm going to click the home page so you guys can see. There is about 33 funding opportunities here. So here's an entire dashboard for some new grants that you can apply to. helloSkip is also an app that you can download on your phone. And it's a really great business resource tool that you can use. Okay, so you can visit helloskip.com and apply to this $5,000 grant. That's the one that I can find. That's pretty much for everybody, for startups as well, especially startups. And like I said earlier, okay, if you are a startup and you want to go for grant funding, then it is very important that you do have a business plan, a pitch deck, and a 3-minute pitch video, because just like this $5,000 grant that you can use to start your business and to scale it, guess what? You need a business plan, okay? Any last minute questions before I let y'all go? We've been on here for like almost an hour and 20 minutes. This Sunday, I have a new video that is dropping on my my YouTube channel. I'm really excited about it. If you are a channel member, then you'll have access to it tomorrow. But yeah, I understand the pitch video and the business plan. Can you explain the third one? The third one is a pitch deck. So the pitch deck is just a PowerPoint presentation. It's just some slides. Okay. It's no different from like the slides I was going over yesterday, like these. And how people be having slides and stuff like this. You know what I mean? This was our conversation from yesterday. Yesterday we did a whole video on like yeah, we did a whole video yesterday on how to turn your idea into reality. We went over these 7 steps: reframing your identity, clarifying your mission, define the business model, map out the workflow, put it to test, how to create a simple execution plan, how to get a business. And then so each one we went through yesterday. So what we went through, PowerPoint presentation, pretty much a slideshow. Okay, a slideshow of everything. That's what a pitch deck is. Okay, I created a pitch deck so everybody could be able to see like what are the main 7 steps you need to be taking, so you can bring it from out of your head and bring it into reality. So that's what we went over yesterday. That conversation yesterday, and it was tea. That conversation yesterday was tea, because I feel like it was very much needed, very much needed. I'm so serious. Any more last minute questions before I let you guys go? What am I doing? Because I noticed this was wrong. Thank you for all the help. I really appreciate it. Thank you for being here. And it is my pleasure. It is my pleasure for sure. I really do appreciate you being here. You know, and you are here for yourself, getting all this good information, learning. So yeah, shout out to you. All right. Do you have a Patreon? No, I don't. YouTube is really the only app I want to be on. If you didn't notice, and I don't know, I got through my Facebook um business thing. I saw that some of y'all like DM me on Instagram. That's the only way I have access to Instagram is through Meta's inbox through the business Meta Business Suite. But I'm on an Instagram hiatus for 2 years. Yeah, so I haven't been on Instagram since really December, January of this year. Yeah. Um, because for what? Man, Instagram is so negative. So for my own mental health and to not allow myself to compare myself to other people's false realities, I say, you know what? I'm actually quite tired of this thing. So I'm on a 2-year hiatus from Instagrams. I wanted you guys to know that because I'm not. If you DM me on Instagram, you're not going to get a response. So yeah. How can we contact you if we have other questions? In the really great question in the description below is my booking link. I offer a $50 one-on-one consultations. It's a 45-minute Zoom call. It's $50, and what we do is we talk about any question that you might have and concern. I am a small business development coach, and I'm also a grant writer certified. So I've been doing this for 10 years, and also I travel the world doing it. So not only do I assist you all in the US, but I have clients in the UK that I'm actually going to go to London soon. And then also, well, I'm planning to go to London. Also, I help like write grants and stuff and develop grants for African countries and banks and stuff. So that's what I'm doing here in Africa. Um, so yeah, I've been doing this globally. I've been able to scale my business so far to the point to where I'm able to just do this globally, right? So I just decided, why stay in the US only when there's other people in the world? There's such a big world that I can help out and teach them about grants and international opportunities. So I do write grants for international business. I write grants for you all too. But it's important that we get through the root of the bottom of your challenges. And in our consultations, we talk more about what is your business idea? How are you going to make money from it? What are the steps that you're taking to make money from it? If you believe that, oh, the reason why, and I talked about this yesterday, but a lot of people say, oh, I need funding because that's the only way I'll be able to start. Well, I know how to break you out of that mindset. And we talked about it yesterday about having the right circle of friends to be able to help invest into your business. Um, Also, we talked about going for those opportunities and speaking to those people at those networking events that are willing to give you a try, all of that stuff. And just breaking out of that mindset of feeling like nobody's going to support you um, simply because you feel like you don't have a certain amount of following or whatever have you. Like, no, that's not how it works. So we go over a lot in the consultation. Okay, so I'm going to let you guys go because I'm going to start uploading this new video. On Sunday, I have a new video for the business building series. If you guys don't know that I have a brand new YouTube series that I just started on Sunday, the first video dropped. So make sure you go check that video out. It's really fun. It's under my playlist on YouTube. And the next video comes out this Sunday. It's going to be really good. It's talking about the four main things that you need to have. Every business needs to have internationally or nationally. Every business needs to have these things. I think I talk about like a little bit more about Stripe and all kinds of stuff. So that's going to be a really good. I've already recorded all the content. So every Sunday is going to be a new drop. Okay. I appreciate y'all and sharing your morning with me. It's Tuesday for you. So get out there and be great. And we'll same time tomorrow, right, friend? I'll see you tomorrow. Tomorrow, 9 a.m. Eastern time. Every morning, 9 a.m. Eastern time. I'm here, okay? Are you still abroad? Are you still abroad? How are you liking it? I love it. I haven't lived in the United States in about 3 years. So welcome, just me. You're just now meeting me. It's really fun. I haven't lived in the United States in 3 years. I've lived in multiple continents and countries. Living in Africa, specifically West Africa and Nigeria, has to be top tier. Spiritually, I have grown a lot, and I've been able to get into other business dealings like agriculture and expanding my grant business and connecting with different government officials and all kind of stuff. So yeah, I've been able to do some really cool stuff. All right. Awesome. All right. Any last minute questions? I'm back. I kicked out. Thanks for sharing. You're welcome. All right. So I'm going to let you all go. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you tomorrow. All right. Same time tomorrow. Okay, friend. All right. Bye bye.